In 26 professional bouts, he maintains a record of 16 victories against 10 losses. Andrew Whitney! In 16 pro bouts, he maintains a record of 13 victories against 3 losses. Carlos Briseño!
It is, again, both fighters in red and white, but Briseño with his back to the screen, representing Mexico. Whitney, very proud of his Kansas City, Missouri roots.
Andrew Whitney, unlike the first time we saw him in La Jaula against Martin Bravo, more patient, more calm, trying to pick where he could strike. Great overhand, just missed it. But if that overhand right would have caught Carlos Briseño, it would have been a good night, Irene. Carlos, great sharp hands, very fast. Again, good dirty boxing as well. He's gonna use that jab and that reach that he has over Andrew Whitney.
Briseño coming on the inside of the inside leg of Whitney. Whitney talking about how Kansas City breeds killers, blue collar, hard-working Missouri. He represents hardcore. His fighting style is street-born, hard knocks, calling it street jitsu. It's got a good ring to it.
Make a t-shirt out of it. He used to play football. He was a tailback back then. And free safety. And he used to play baseball, center fielder in high school. This guy's an all-around athlete.
Sweeping movement from Briseño. You can see the length. An excellent kickboxer. Saying, Whitney, bring it on. 13-3, fighting at 140, but he's going to be at 135. Were you surprised him being ranked 6th in that top 10? I figured he'd be in the top 10. It felt a little high to me.
I think it's fair game. He had some, we've seen him inside of Jaula, great action. He was a competitor in the Copa Combate. Had some tough challenges there. A fair game. And a great, he's just an all-around athlete for Carlos Briseño. And listen, he has an opportunity. You want to debate him, Max? He'll show you tonight. He has that chance. Why am I ranked? Why am I in this bantamweight ranking at this number? He'll prove to you. I'll tell you one man who's keeping a close eye, and that's David Martinez.
At the top. It's a good feeling to be at the top, but he also has a big target. As Whitney, close quarters, big knee from Briseño.
Yeah, this is what happened. The same thing happened for Whitney when he took on Bravo. He got into that scrap, and he got a little less confident, a little loopy, and he put his hands down, and he got caught. Carlos Briseño could do the same thing here. I won't be surprised if Whitney switches levels and goes to the ground here and uses his wrestling, because it's a good opportunity right here. But now the fact that Briseño is pinning Andrew to La Jaula, it's going to make it quite difficult.
Knee in there from Whitney.
No, that's actually Briseño. Briseño was the one that took him down. Briseño might even go for a submission victory here tonight.
Whitney saying his last few fights, everything's been off timing, took fights short notice, says everything is right now. He's hard-nosed, he's grinding.
Whitney trying to push that grip, push out his hips. Whitney needs to get out of that position. The Jaula's prohibiting him from moving. He's just trying to grab that wrist and transition to get out. But yeah, he is grabbing that fence. Alan Labella just gave him a warning. He's desperately finding that opportunity to rip the grip and get out. Carlos perhaps could slam him here. He could also put one of the feet to
another big knee.
Down.
Briseño, we talked about his training. And training with David Martinez that you talked about there at Bone Breakers.
How crazy
so he's
that
getting a good look.
Team versus teammate, right? And usually
could happen.
Usually camps don't like to fight their own teammates, but when you got gold on the line, all that's thrown out the window. We saw that with John Jones and Rashad Evans. Once teammates, then became enemies.
It can happen, and they usually stay that way. Whitney's been second best so far in this first round, which is reaching its conclusion. It's a great reprieve for Whitney. He got that main event against Martin Bravo. He was a big underdog, and it showed in the fight. Short notice fight, big left hand, Briseño. That one hurt Whitney.
Great jab. Whitney going for an uppercut.
Briseño in all likelihood winning the first round. We'll get the official scorecard here momentarily. Some adjustments need to be made for Whitney.
Carlos just needs to keep pushing that pace, keep coming in. You can see Randy's just backing up. There we go.
Using that left hand. Briseño did beat Adam Martinez back in October of last year via unanimous decision.
As for Andrew, I don't know why he's not pulling the trigger on that wrestling. Why not explore it?
You saw that one strike from Briseño that Whitney wiped off his face. He didn't like it. Now you can see the puffiness around that left eye. He comes in.
So again, pinning him to the Jaula. Again, Whitney's gonna grab both of those, the grip, and then turn, but
Peppering Whitney.
great positioning from Carlos, preventing him. And there's the open scoring, Max. You can see going to Briseño that first round.
We talked about Briseño starting his career at 9-1. Andrew Whitney started 8-1. Then he had a couple of rough patches. He's worked hard at his game. He feels he has still a lot to give, even at his age.
Work your head in there.
Well, Max, you know, you start out heavy, right? It's very easy to climb the first steps of Mount Everest, but once you get to the top, only a handful can say they've climbed it all the way to the top.
Power knee that just missed. Telegraphed it to be.
Great feint there from Whitney.
Briseño comes in and out.
Yeah, but Briseño has that reach. Oh, great overhand.
Briseño got one in too. Whitney having some issues with the
Getting in there.
distance.
Yeah, again, Briseño has that reach. So in this position, sometimes you're gonna have to probably get hit and cut him in to get inside. Work the body.
Into the clinch.
Get some body shots in there for Whitney.
I mean, Whitney's got those arms. He's a stronger fighter. You can see the muscles glistening, but Briseño is giving no quarter, taking none in these tight quarters.
You gotta turn him here. You gotta turn him. You gotta turn him.
Whitney's quarter telling him, gotta turn him. Not really attempting. Almost looks like he's just wanting to catch up his breath here.
Whitney should throw in some knees. The opportunity's there.
Turn him. Turn him.
Right there, right smack right there. You can land in there, right knee in the side.
Gets separated by Alan Abeles, so didn't have to turn him in the end. He gets back to the center of La Jaula. Sweeping left hand by Briseño, follows up with the kick.
And it seems almost like Carlos, when he throws in those hands, sometimes he has that open hand slap. See if we see it once again. You might see it here. Great uppercut. Not with a lot of power, but he did land it. Great low kick from Carlos. Overhand right from Whitney. Blocked though by Carlos. See how he opens up? It's like one of the Diaz brothers made that famous, that open hand slap.
Briseño peppering with the jabs, those long jabs. Good footwork. He's just having a nice fight so far, and we're halfway through, more than halfway through. Whitney's just not been able to get on track.
Whitney checking that kick, even stomping to throw off Andrew. Didn't phase Andrew.
Andrew cut a great interview for us, and he was very pro-Missouri. He goes, I'm from Missouri. That's how I'm different. It ain't country. And then he brought up the show Ozark, because that's Missouri. And I was like, oh, boy.
Really?
Yes.
I know.
He was also asked about, because we always ask him, we were always trying to connect MMA and football, soccer. And I said, who's your favorite team? He goes, I root for Mexico when I watch soccer. And then said, te amo to the Spanish language fans. Smart. Good left hand, Briseño.
Using that Rosetta Stone.
And Whitney's just taking a lot right now.
He's not being persistent. Every time that Carlos comes in, he backs away instead of cutting the corners and striking. Not countering.
Yeah.
There it is.
He's first that time.
And the thing is, when he throws that, I get it. He's trying to go for the kill with the overhand right, but as soon as he throws it, he leaves himself exposed.
Into the
there
ribs. Hey, you can see the torque on the punches of Whitney.
Yeah.
If he connects, they're going to sting.
Right.
Oh, good right hand. Oh, he dropped it with the left. Whitney's back in it. Briseño's hurt. Briseño's eyes roll to the back of his head. Briseño's taking one after the other. 10 seconds to go.
I could have sworn that man was sleeping, man.
His eyes roll to the back of his head. Alan Abeles is thinking about it. Briseño in survival mode.
Look, he's wobbling.
But he gave Briseño. You want to give the fighters the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, Carlos was still there. Yes, for that split second. He looked like he was counting sheep.
Surprised a little bit. Whitney hasn't fired out here. Leg caught. Briseño now gets on top.
Oh, what a comeback that would be, right?
So Whitney was saying he should have stopped the fight.
Yeah. He looked at he gave him a hard look, saying, "Hey, why didn't you stop it?" But to give the benefit of a doubt to Alan Abeles, Carlos stood up. He went to the corner, sat down.
You almost left. You almost left. Control his hands. Control his hands.
Now he's got the back, and maybe he can get into the submission game. Not really locked in, but Whitney's gone through a lot in these 2 rounds.
Yeah,
Not really defending this all that well.
Yeah, he needs to get out of this real quickly, grab that grip. Use that hip movement to get out quickly. Because Carlos doesn't have any tight grip there. He attempted a figure 4, but doesn't have anything at all. Now Whitney needs to get out of that. Grab that wrist, break the lock, position. You see that left arm? All he has to do, he can even use the Jaula to position himself as force to push away and get off.
Briseño, a exemplary striker. The ground game not his forte, but he's been working on it. Unloading these knees.
Now you can posture yourself. See how he's using those shoulders to use it to pop his hips up, to break the lock.
Briseño now with the knowledge that Whitney has knockout power, getting the underhooks.
There's the underhooks that he needs to get off of that, because Carlos is just breathing, and there it is. He found that opportunity. Of course, the sweat helped him out.
Center of the Jaula.
Whoa, look at
Out of
those.
range.
Look at that scorecard there, man.
All levels, so that flurry by Whitney convinced all 3 judges. It was impressive, but remember, it was the last 30 seconds of the fight. Other than that, it seemed like Briseño had the upper hand. If you are Whitney's corner, do you tell him that? You're even.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm certainly.
Go for the kill.
I would say if you're Briseño's corner, but Briseño has a game plan and he's executing it. This is the way it's going to be.
Right. If it's working, then don't change it. But for Whitney, go for it.
I was surprised Whitney won that second round. I'm surprised all 3 judges saw it that way.
Well, that's what they said.
The power punch
leave it to
matters.
the judges.
I would say maybe 2 or 3 would have figured that, but all 3 shows how convincing that the final act of round 2 was.
I know there's been a lot of conversation of how they judge in mixed martial arts lately. And that's a debate itself.
Well, a lot at stake for both fighters, in particular Briseño, who is number 6 in our recently released bantamweight rankings. Initially, if you find yourself 6 and you're Briseño, you're thinking, how do I get up to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? It's not by losing.
Nope.
And you can see yourself right out of the top 10.
Now the question is, for those who handle the rankings, if Carlos Briseño defeats Whitney, does he climb up? Was it enough? Was it impressive enough?
Good kick that rocked back
Whoa,
Whitney.
great body shot. Now he needs to follow it up.
The Whitney corner liked it.
There it is.
Maybe another fast finish here to round 3 for Whitney. It worked well for him in round 2.
Yeah. Andrew needs to work that body once again and then land the overhand right.
Leave it out there. Leave it out there. Leave it out there.
He's setting it up.
Using the
that
jab.
Yep.
Good evasive move. Gets away from that strike of Briseño. Under a minute to go here in the final round.
Briseño is doing what he needs to do. He understands there's less than a minute to go. Just dance around, keep Andrew busy, trying to chase him. And that's it, and use that reach. All Carl needs to do is just keep the momentum going. As for Andrew, he needs to pull the trigger.
Andrew Whitney, who left a huge mark on the left cheek of Briseño. almost finished the fight. Briseño survived, and now he's 20 seconds away. But who wins this round? It's been pretty even.
Oh, okay, that was blocked. Carlos calling him in to come in.
Oh, good jab.
Oh,
Massive roundabout.
nothing, it just looked pretty.
All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. De Mexico, Carlos Briseño.